Court Captive by J.S. Claude's Path, Chapter 2. Don't Go. Amory. After waking up inside the game Court Captive, I was forced to adapt very quickly in order to survive. Gradually, I got used to interacting with people and got over some of my social anxiety, though in the end I am still an awkward introvert full of insecurities. I started out working at Hodgson's estate, where I learned the basics of doing domestic housework without the aid of modern conveniences. But Hodgson's estate was a dreary, Spartan sort of place, and somewhat lacking in my estimation of what a fantasy world setting ought to be. In time, I began to long for better opportunities. Since I could read and write, Miss Fergus advised I apply to work at the palace, where she had a few connections. Thanks to her recommendation, I've been working happily at the game's central location for more than a year now. Here I get to see all my favorite characters from the game coming and going on a regular basis, with the exception of Tristan, of course, but he's still a kid. Regardless, this kind of setting is an Ultima game addict's dream, and I've spent this time drooling constantly over the handsome male leads from a polite distance. This timeline is different from the ones I played back in the real world. Beryl is gone, for one, and without her influence, Marigold has yet to make her appearance. Another major difference is that Artair has been accepted as his father's heir, and he seems healthy and respectfully treated, which makes me very relieved. Since I feel certain we won't have the Terrarin army overrunning the city now, I've been able to relax and enjoy my life in this world and my cushy job as a palace maid, though I don't know how much longer it will last. Yesterday, after a year spent skirting around him and admiring him from a distance, I met the prince. I didn't just meet him. I fell on top of him and gazed into his eyes from just a few inches away, seeing up close every detail of his stern, gorgeous statue-like face. It was a moment straight out of a fairy tale. And then I remembered who I was, where I was, and what I'd been doing. And I realized I was probably about to be executed. I panicked. Like a fool, I ran out without properly apologizing. Indeed, without even begging to have my life spared. I ran, and I hid, and I prayed with all that was in me that somehow I could escape punishment for my crime. But then, evidently because of where I was hiding, I was mistaken for one of the kitchen waitstaff and somehow ended up serving tea to the Scandi diplomats. And as fate would have it, none other than Prince Claude himself. It was a nightmare. I was so scared I thought I might faint. Fortunately, I had a little experience serving tea on General Hodgson's estate, so I think I pulled it off fairly well. Nevertheless, I was painfully conscious of the prince's searing gaze the moment he laid eyes on me. Of course he hadn't forgotten my blunder. How could he? He must have been furious to see me again. I still can't understand how he didn't fly into a rage the moment he saw me. But then, Claude was famously upright and stoic in the game as well, and a perfect gentleman, which is certainly the only reason I still have a job here after what happened yesterday. That, or he hasn't gotten around to sending the note for the head housekeeper to fire me yet. Either way, I'll mind my manners from here on out. Be careful to keep my head down and stay out of trouble. And above all, no singing. I still can't believe I forgot myself so completely in the library before, and for so long. I must have serenaded the prince for a solid 10 minutes. When I think of it, I could die from embarrassment. Just because I thought the room was empty. Just because the acoustics happened to be really good. That was no excuse. Something like that must never happen again, no matter how tempted I am. Even if there is a gorgeous guitar sitting right in front of me in an empty room. A guitar exactly like the one in the music room I clean twice a week. Even if that beautiful instrument calls my name and begs to be played, I mustn't forget myself. The prince showed mercy this time. But if he catches me making a racket again, who knows what will happen. Claude. These days I find myself noticing servants, something I've never done before. The ones who come to build the fires, the ones who carry linens and dishes through the palace on hurried, silent footsteps. I notice them, and I look for her, but she is not among them. In the end, I did not banish female servants from attending me. No particular reason, I tell myself, except that it would be too much of a hassle. Certainly, it's not because I want to see that girl again. This morning I get my exercise sparring in the courtyard with Felix. My cousin is a national champion fencer, so naturally I don't expect to win. But I take pride in knowing at least I can make him break a sweat. "You're getting quite good, cousin," Felix compliments me after his 5th straight victory. He is faintly winded from the exercise, while I stand with my hands on my knees, struggling to catch my breath. "Please, when you say that it sounds like you're mocking me." "Not in the least. I can say with authority you're among the best fencers on the island. At least in the top 10, if not the top 5. "That's so," I answer, not sure whether I should feel proud or annoyed to hear that from the island's number 1. Just then I catch the faint swish of a dark ponytail out of the corner of my eye. I turn at once with the strangest thrill of expectation, only to send a middle-aged gardener back a pace, so startled at the sight of me that she very nearly upsets the wheelbarrow full of topsoil she's pushing. Excuse me, Your Highness, I'll just go around." "You're sending more and more servants running with that scary glare of yours lately," Felix comments as the gardener scurries away. "Have you got something against domestics now?" "Of course not," I answer irritably. "Then, are you looking for someone in particular? A lady, perhaps?" "Don't be absurd." My cousin's knowing eyes narrow on me faintly, and I feel something like heat coming to my ears at his unspoken implication. "Another round," I say, taking up my rapier again. "This time I won't go easy on you." "As you like, Your Highness." Felix smirks and takes up his rapier in answer to my challenge. I'm getting ready to lunge forward when the faint sound of humming touches my ears. An immediately recognizable voice. I couldn't mistake it for a moment. It's her. Forgetting everything else in an instant, I drop my sword irreverently so it clatters on the flagstone. "Claude?" "Excuse me," I answered distractedly. "I just remembered something I have to do." Before Felix can protest, I am off, striding through the garden in search of her. I am perspiring, flushed with exercise. My heart beats powerfully, even more than it did a minute ago, when I dueled the Duke. What is this I'm feeling as I search out the singer of this strange song? Eagerness? Frustration? Perhaps a little of both? It is most inappropriate for a king's servant to sing so, even outside. She should be reprimanded for causing a distraction, yes. It's high time someone had a word with her. But though I search the gardens and the hedge maze, I cannot locate the owner of that voice. I wander a long time after the song fades away, feeling lost and a little dazed, hoping the melody will start again, but hoping in vain. In the end, I return to my room, feeling increasingly irritable and definitely disappointed. Next time I see that presumptuous servant, I won't let her get away so easily. Next time I'll definitely catch her, and then, well, what will I do with her? A week passes. I am busier than usual with the statesman's ball approaching and the treaty still not finalized. Father is insistent I rewrite it again, shifting the stipulations rather unfairly in our favor. I am against it personally, feeling certain Scandi will never accept such a disparity, but Father is insistent it won't be an issue. Still, for all his apparent greed, he seems especially desirous we make an exceptional impression on the visiting Scandi king, Obviously, this is because he wants the treaty signing to go off without a hitch. But these days I'm beginning to wonder if there isn't something more behind this upcoming meeting. Something he isn't telling me. I can only speculate as to what it is. I'm no good at reading between the lines. If Father won't tell me what he's planning, then I simply won't know until he does. In the meantime, I can only carry on with my duties with my usual efficiency and perfection, to ensure whatever blow he plans to hit me with later, it won't disrupt the order of things too severely. The king and I talk together now as we walk through the halls of the palace, discussing the mundane details of the ball, specifically the question of music, which Father feels is essential in making a good impression on the Scandi dignitaries. Then, quite suddenly, a clear voice drifts to us from down the hall, accompanied by the strains of a guitar. I recognize that voice in an instant, and my heart thrills with anticipation. She's not getting away from me this time. Excuse me, sire. Ignoring my father's protests, I practically run down the hall, following the sound of her lilting voice to the music room. At first I thought I would burst upon her and catch her red-handed, but as I come to the door, I find myself not wanting to startle her. In the end, very carefully, I crack the door to look in. Yes, it's the girl from the library. There's no mistaking it. She's playing and singing in her black maid's uniform while a broom stands propped against the wall, completely forgotten. What is this sensation? Just the sight of her makes my chest feel full, and all at once, something like relief overwhelms me. At last, I've found you. One of our new musicians? Father. Too late I realized he's followed me. He too is looking through the door at the singing girl with definite interest. What do I say? If I tell him she's a simple maid skipping out on her duty to play with one of the palace instruments, she'll be in trouble, and I won't stand for that. I won't allow this girl to be scolded by anyone but me. But it seems I've worried for nothing, and underestimated this simple maid. Because as her song goes on, it only sounds more beautiful, and her skill quickly becomes apparent. I'm going crazy. I'm losing sleep. I'm in too far. I'm in way too deep over you. You'll always be the one. You were the first, you'll be the last. Wherever you go, I'll be with you. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Whenever you need someone to lay your heart and head upon. She's quite good. My father breaks the spell this woman's words are casting over me. I shake myself and attend to him, as a good son should. Not my style, but it's very unique. Give her a slot at the Statesman's Ball. I think those foreigners will like her. I'll see to it, Father. By this time the girl has realized she has an audience. She goes absolutely still, petrified. Father nods at her and heads on his way. I stay back and let myself inside the room, allowing the door to swing shut behind me. Several seconds pass, and we stare at each other from across the room. Now is my chance. I have her alone at last. I should reprimand her, scold her soundly for her inappropriate behavior these past weeks. But somehow, suddenly, my mouth, like my feet, will not move. More seconds pass. 10, 15. The silence between us is deafening. Then, all at once, she begins to apologize. I'm so sorry, Your Highness. I knew it was inappropriate, but the guitar was just so pretty and the acoustics. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't resist. Please, I beg your forgiveness. It's quite all right. I hear my voice, though I hardly know it. Nor did I imagine I would pardon her so easily. Then, before I even know what's happening, I hear myself add, I've been looking for you. Of course you have, she says, clearly flustered. A common maid like me has made such a racket, even upset the king. I shall resign immediately, your highness. She starts to rush from the room, and I can't help but recall how she flew from the library before and disappeared. With the strangest twinge of panic, I catch her hand. Don't. The word comes just a bit desperately from my lips. Don't run. She looks back at me, eyes dancing with terror, like a small animal about to be devoured. I don't want her to look at me like that. How can I reassure her? Carefully, I release her hand. You aren't in trouble, miss. May I ask your name? Miss Lee, she says, and lowers her eyes to curtsy properly. Amory Lee, your highness. Just these few syllables of revelation give me the most particular sense of weightlessness. I feel almost as though I could float. How strange, I think distantly. Please don't be alarmed, Miss Lee. My father was not displeased. Rather, he was delighted. She blinks several times in disbelief. The king liked my music? And not only him, I think. And come to the realization all at once. Of course. This must be why I wanted to see her. Not because I have any special feeling for her, and not to scold her for singing, but to hear her sing again. Very much. And what's more, he asks that you would perform for the statesman's ball. Oh, please, I couldn't. I'm so out of practice, and I get stage fright. There's no way. I hold up a hand. If that is too much, then perhaps you would accept a less public position as my personal bard. She blinks even faster now, and seems to struggle with comprehension. Your personal... What? I am faintly aware that this is all moving very quickly. But now the idea has sprung to mind. I find I like it so well I can think of nothing else. I would provide all the necessary accommodations, naturally. And I can offer you a salary 10 times what they pay you now. No, 20 times. But I have no formal training. I've had my fill of musicians with formal training. Your music, though, I've never heard anything like it. Today, in the garden and in the library, I say. Her eyelids flutter self-consciously at my reminder of our past encounter, and her cheeks flush very prettily. The sight leaves me feeling rather warm and prickly all over. It's true I used to make my living with the guitar, but when I came here I thought I'd have to leave that life behind me forever. That would be an awful shame, Miss Lee. No special feeling, I told myself. But I wonder if that's really true. Now that I've found her again, I'm so anxious not to lose her. I'm not exactly pleading. A prince wouldn't do such a thing. But I want so dreadfully for her to accept the position that I'm afraid I've revealed my hand and surrendered all negotiating power. But that's all right. I can afford any price she names, so long as she accepts my proposal. I'm flattered, she finally answers. I should like very much to make a career with music again, but, well, the way I am now, I'm just not ready. It would take a few weeks for me to get back in the habit of playing. And even then, with my stage fright, well, I doubt very seriously I'd be able to perform songs suitable for the Prince of Contrarian. You will permit me to disagree. But, Your Highness, I want you, your songs. They're good enough now, in my opinion. But if it makes you feel better, you may have the time you require to brush up your skills. As much as you need. And you must take this with you. I say on impulse, and I fetch the guitar, so you can practice in the comfort of your room. She shrinks from it. Oh, no. I could not accept such a gift. You like it, don't you? Then I insist, I say. Too stubborn to take back what I've already offered. Even if you choose in the end not to accept the position, You must allow me to make you this present." "I am grateful, Your Highness, but it is too valuable. The other servants would steal it if they found something so valuable in my room." This news immediately puts my hackles up. "Your door does not have a lock?" "Not a very good one. And there have been break-ins recently in our quarters. Just last week I had a shawl stolen." "Then I shall move you to better quarters at once." "No, I couldn't." "Are you still arguing with me?" I stare her down and she shrinks even smaller. "You are a very bold maid, to defy the will of your sovereign." "I'm sorry," she peeps adorably, "and I think I've never had to struggle so much to keep my composure." "You'll move this very day," I determine, and I start out of the room, a man on a mission. "I'll make all the arrangements, and explain your situation to the head housekeeper." "Oh, but—" "Just accept my offer," I say, rounding on her a little impatiently. I lock gazes with her and lower my voice for emphasis. "What do you mean to make me beg, Miss Lee?" Amory blushes to her hairline. I think I might blush too, so I turn away quickly and head out, determined to make this scheme of mine a reality. I will keep her safe, I think. And I will keep her near me. Water turns cold and gets to freeze.